welcome to a brand new episode of the Indulge podcast with me, Prattusa Mallik. Today, on our show, we catch up with actor Babil Khan, who recently attended the Under 25 Summit 2024 in Bengaluru. In this chat, he opens up about his ever-evolving relationship with art, his unusual twist with fashion, fitness routines, and lots more. So let's just dive right into the conversation. My first question would be about your under 25 summit today, of course.
Yes.
So, your session is titled something very interesting. It's Beyond Conformity Self Expression Through Art and Fashion. So, can you tell us a
Hmm.
little bit about how your relationship with fashion has evolved throughout the years?
I don't think my relationship with fashion, I've never analyzed my relationship with fashion, but
Mhm.
the way I feel about art has evolved. I used to, when I started, understanding is also a huge word, but when I started approaching art, I we
Mhm.
used to do, I thought art was about doing, like I have to do art. But the truth is that it's the opposite of that, like when you start understanding art, and not through intellect, through experience, you start understanding that art is not about doing, it's about witnessing in silence what is happening to you, how your journey is interacting with the experiences in the moment. And that approach in itself carries on to everything like fashion, music, acting, and beyond that. Everything I do, when I approach it with my understanding of art, then yeah, then what I'm doing evolves on its own because the perspective has evolved.
So, with your personal style, is this like beautiful mix of avant-garde, metrosexual style?
Dude, I have no idea. I have no idea. I just honestly, honestly, I really don't try to define it or analyze it. I just
Mhm.
flow. Like I just try to flow with as much courage as I can, and
Mhm.
surrender to how I'm feeling and being truthful to that, and then make decisions according to that. So I
Mhm.
don't know like how my fashion is, but it is what I'm feeling,
But
you
your
know?
sense of style does set you apart from the rest of your contemporaries in a few ways, you know. So just wanted to
How?
understand, first of all, the choice of colors that you wear. I don't think I've seen a lot of Indian actors carry pink or certain shades of green, which is
Yeah!
confidence.
Yes!
You like
I'm
that?
so happy you said that because I
Yeah,
love
yeah,
pink, but apparently, pink has definitions which I want to completely ignore.
yeah.
Yeah.
So those kind of choices, and so I just wanted to understand that, how did you come to that point? Like, were you always this person who used to be, who used to put a thought behind the kind of attires that you put on, even when you were not a part of the glamour world? So how did that start? How did your journey with fashion start?
I don't think it was a journey with fashion that started. It was a journey with style because I come from an upbringing where I am raised in an education system which is
Mhm.
um, which is all about simplicity. Plastic is not allowed. Like Rudolf Steiner education system, where just the whole everything is different. So to shift from that system to uh, you know go into normal life, go into society, I had to fit in some way when I was younger, right? And I wanted to have friends, and I saw that if you have some kind of flair or some kind of style, people are attracted to you, and that's the conception. That's how it started. It was just selfish need, but
Mhm.
yeah, then it grew into something where I was experiencing that when I'm truthful to how I'm feeling, style automatically happens, and then through style, fashion automatically happens. I
Mhm.
don't put much thought, as you said, that do you put much thought into it? I don't put thought at all. I actually try to put no thought. I try to stay as true to what the clothes are making me feel,
Mhm.
and how I'm feeling in that moment on that day, and carry that into, what I'm putting onto this body, onto my physical form, as you can say.
Right, right. But again, in terms of art, if I come to that part now, so
Yeah.
you mentioned that is where all this starts from for you. So if I ask you that what role does art play in your very personal life, not as a performer, but as an audience,
Hmm.
as a
Yeah,
consumer of art, what role does
that's a
art play
great question.
in your very personal life?
Yeah, it's a very personal and it's a really good question. I think my endeavor or my pursuit to start understanding art was a selfish thing. It's always like, when you try, it's like it's catharsis, right? Art as catharsis. When you have a lot of inner turmoil growing up, and when you have loneliness or pain or anxiety, you need you don't in your deepest subconscious mind, and deep within you, you don't want those emotions to go to waste, or you want them to express in some way, right? Express themselves. So that's how I started, uh, and trying to approach art, or trying to understand art, because it was a selfish need to do something with all of this anxiety and turmoil and pain, and see what happens. But then I started, like, as time passed, and I started to stay with the idea of art and sit in silence with it, I started to understand that it 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 is more than me. It is something that connects people in general. Like, it is when you are expressing you. And the thing is, like, art is not about doing, as I said. Like, when you're allowing nature to express through you, and I'm allowing my nature to express through me, then as a united consciousness, like the consciousness that we share, not our individual consciousness, in that spontaneity, things are getting created. The creation is happening in the spontaneity, where I'm not doing anything, when nature is doing through me, and creation is happening. And that's when I started to realize that we think that we create. We don't create anything. We just lay down the structure for creation to happen, and we must allow it to happen by surrendering to courage, like being courageous about the surrender to how we truthfully feel, not running away from all of the things that we usually repress, to confront them and to feel them and to experience them, and just flow with them. Then, in the spontaneity of that, when you're not thinking about it, when you're not trying to put thought into it, and you're almost unaware of what you're about to say, and it comes out truthfully, that's art, because that's your journey, your entire journey of you interacting with the experience that is being brought upon you at that moment. And that's basically when that realization set in. I started to feel like just living life every day, and trying to be as close to my that idea of art, and living every moment of the day like that. Not It's not about, oh, now I'm going to go act, so I have to switch on this ability of art, or whatever this understanding. Or it's just living every moment with that surrender is art in itself. So it carries on to everything. So that, and I feel like it makes you brave. It makes you a braver person, and it allows you to live life rather than run from it. And I'm a firm believer of this statement, where life comes from you and not at you. And life will only come from you when you allow it to. Otherwise, you'll always feel like it's coming at you, and you're just protecting yourself from it rather than living it. So that's how art kind of supersedes into daily life and living life in general, rather than trying to do something. you know
Oh, that's it's a really deep answer.
oh,
Uh,
thank you.
uh, so I wanted to ask you a question along these lines now. So you are talking a lot about art, but if I ask you to mention about, let's say, one book or one film or one piece of art which,
Yeah.
has influenced you in a very big way, what would that be?
Actually, the one the series of films that influenced me a lot, which I didn't even know that they were influencing me, because they were just put on in my house when I was growing up. They were just playing. And then later on, I ended up, and I used to hate them. I used to find them so boring. And then later on, I did a my dissertation on that very filmmaker. His name's Tarkovsky, right? And it's, if somebody is not a fan of cinema, or it doesn't intellectualize cinema,
Yeah.
it's really boring films. It's really boring. It's like kya chal raha hai?
Yeah.
But
Right.
but what it taught me was that art can have the possibility of being so much more than entertainment. That's when like, through those films I started understanding that cinema can have the possibility and the responsibility of being much more than just entertainment. If you want it to be just entertainment, it can be that for you. But if you want it to be more, it can also be that for you. You know, it
Mhm.
can be a source of you looking within yourself, and
Absolutely.
you reflecting upon ideas,
Mhm.
because it is the most effective way of affecting somebody, because it's such a visual, and it is the most dynamic form of, it's a very dynamic craft, cinema,
Mhm.
right? Like,
Absolutely.
your and as an actor, your tool is your body. It's you don't have a paintbrush, you don't have a spray paint can, you don't have a guitar, you don't have a mic, or it's just you. And
Mhm.
your being is your tool, your journey is your tool, your spirit is your tool. So yeah, through Tarkovsky I started to understand that, which was a huge change in my life. And the best thing about this is that I didn't even know that it was changing me when it was changing me, you
Mhm.
know.
It's only after that you reflect on these things and understand.
Yeah, yeah.
Absolutely.
Maybe you're going through the most boring experience of your life, but only maybe months, years, when like time passes by you, and then you understand, oh my god, I can't even believe how that influenced me and brought me to this point in my life. All these experiences we run away, willingly run away from, trying to protect
Mhm.
ourselves. Those experiences actually make us who we are. Our adversities shape us to be who we are, and it's strange how we try to protect ourselves from those very adversities.
Very true. Very true. But do you yourself have plans of directing films or getting like behind the camera anytime soon?
Yeah, not soon, not soon,
Okay.
but
Okay.
there are, like, I want to explore my, you know, the creativity and whatever nature has given me to its maximum potential. So it's not only about getting behind the camera and directing, it's also writing, and not only films, writing short stories, writing books, doing making music is something I really want to do. And
Mhm.
yeah, just explore it, maybe put myself into situations where I'm completely uncomfortable and see what happens. Maybe I don't see, like painting, like, I don't know how to paint very well. I can
Mhm.
do a little bit, but just explore the creativity, explore everything. I've got this one chance.
But just one life also.
Yeah,
You
yeah,
only
yeah,
live
yeah.
once. Yeah.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
we try to combat this idea of having just one life by these philosophical concepts of rebirth and past lives, and that may all be true, but it doesn't change the fact that you do just have one life. Okay, you might be reborn, but you will have no idea that you've been reborn. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
So
absolutely.
you will lose your awareness.
Yeah.
So whatever awareness you have in this life, you might as well
Make the
completely
most of
take
it.
advantage of. Yeah, make the most of it. Live the living crap out of it.
But in all of the films that you've done so far, if I ask you about your characters, what is that one character you felt you related to the least, and that in some ways has led you to the discovery of a new world or of a new kind of a personality?
Every character, I think I only, when I read a script,
Mhm.
subconsciously, the first thing I'm looking at is if this character I don't relate to. I shouldn't relate to the character, because then the journey starts, then the
Mhm.
challenge starts to find that character within yourself. And when that
Mhm.
happens, then you're exploring yourself, because you have an idea of who you are, right? Which is a
Mhm.
false idea. You are not your identity. You are playing your identity because you're conditioned to play your identity. You are only you because of the experiences that you were a part of when you were growing up. Everything about you is absorbed, and you feel like it's you, but it's not you. You're just playing your identity. So you are infinite. You have everything within you, the darkest, the brightest sides of the scale, of the spectrum.
Mhm.
So when I can't relate to a character, that's when I know that the journey has begun of finding that character within myself. So I have to
Mhm.
explore myself. I have to dig deep and you know, find similarities to that character. I may not have similar experiences, but I
Mhm.
will have qualities or traits that make that human being that I'm playing the way they are. And I
Mhm.
must find those. I may not have gone through the Bhopal gas tragedy, but I I knew that I have felt innocence in the way I see things, and I have wanted to make a choice at the point of conflict to be to not be a coward, you know and
Mhm.
that can only come when you've been a coward. The desire to not be a coward can only come
Yeah.
when you've been a coward.
Yeah.
So 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 that's how, yeah. I don't think I related to any of my characters, and
Correct.
that's how I got onto the journey of relating to them.
Since we are on the topic of identities, I wanted to understand this that your Insta bio reads son of Sutapa Sektar.
Yeah,
Do
yeah.
you consider that to be your primary identity, and if so, why?
It's a tough one to share. I just love being a son, man. I love being my mama's boy, and I feel like just when Baba was around, I just I never I don't know. I just After he left, I got this really strong feeling of wanting to pamper my mom and take care of my mom, and I think
Sweet.
pain and departure of loved ones teaches you so much about relationships in general, and the passion for being my mama's son, which I had been ignoring throughout my life, which I'm not ignoring but taking for granted,
Mm.
that I didn't want to do anymore. So yeah, I mean, that this identity of Babil also I'm shaping, right? Because that is the identity that, so I have to live in society with. So
Mhm.
I'm also shaping that identity. I'm also trying to refine that identity, trying to, evolve that identity, and seeing what experiences come from that. Yeah, with this, that, yeah, that's a, I like that. I like being the son of Shatafa Sikdar.
But you are also appreciated a lot about your perceptions on masculinity. You are
Yeah.
quite vocal about all these issues, and
Yeah,
so your
if I
daughter.
could not be vocal, I would not be vocal. But I feel like I'm put into situations where I have to be vocal. So good. But
Because
yeah,
just yesterday was Women's Day, and actually we our publication we I myself commissioned an article on five actors who really seem like men written by women, and we featured you on that
yeah, I
list.
love that. That's one of my most favorite compliments.
And so just wanted to understand that where did that start from, or is there any particular person who has influenced you to challenge the conventional notions on masculinity, or did you grow it yourself? How did that happen?
I don't think it was just about masculinity. I think it was just an upbringing of questioning everything and questioning why things are the way they are. it's just questioning and being honest to your observations. It was not just about masculinity, it was just growing up in that school and growing up with Baba and Mama, always pushing me towards not trying to fit in. Every time the desire comes to try to fit in and try to agree with everything that you're being told to agree with, question it, because only what you have experienced can be believed. That is the only true form of knowledge. Not knowledge, understanding. No, because knowledge is comes from intellect and understanding comes from experience, right? So just understanding your experiences and being honest to that, and that, I think, that pursuit just, it carries over to all my, like, everything. Anything I look at it with that lens. It's not just masculinity.
Mhm.
Why when I look at masculinity, I question. I'm like, why is this way? Why is this way? And when I question, I get some answers through my experiences, and some more questions, which then I experience life more. Life gives me the answers. But yeah,
Right, right.
and the
Good.
answers always come with more questions. That is the
Yeah,
beauty.
that's true.
Yeah.
That's true. Yeah. So we've almost reached the towards the end of our interview. So I'd like to ask you, we like to switch gears a bit to
Yeah.
let's say fitness. So what do you do to stay fit?
I don't do anything to stay fit. I'm just fit. I don't know what to do. Sorry, sorry. Like, I have a very
You
high
don't have a fitness
metabolism.
regime. Okay.
No,
You
I
don't
have
have
a
any
very
fitness
high
regime.
I cycle. I really love cycling,
Acha.
and
Okay.
I really love scuba diving. These are the and swimming. I love swimming and sports. I hate working out. I'll work out. If I have to do it for a role, I'll give it my all. I'll get whatever body is needed. But
Mm-hmm.
to on a daily, like, on a basis of life that I'm living, I much rather play, and I much
Mm-hmm.
rather, I don't want to. I hate working out, but I also genuinely just have a really high metabolism, which helps a lot. And
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
it's only after a certain age. I mean, I'm still 25, but it's when I remember when I was 22 or when I was 18, how I used to take my metabolism for granted.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, no, it has a lot to do with my innately high metabolism and my desire to move a lot.
I get jealous of people with high metabolism a lot,
I
but
I know I get jealous of people with blue eyes. It's the same. I mean, we all
okay.
are ourselves.
Okay. So this is my absolute final segment. We've reached now. I'm going to ask you five like rapid fire questions. You can just answer in
No,
one.
rapid fire.
Yeah.
Damn, I'm too honest for this. Like, I always mess up.
Yes, that's what we need.
Okay.
So,
Okay.
one character you would love to play.
Okay. If I have the skill to, when I have the
Mhm.
skill to, I want to play Baba, the Hamlet's, Heather, the character that
Uh-huh.
Baba played, the Rudar.
Right,
But
right, right.
but I want to play that when
You reach
very
that.
late on in life. Very late on in life. But also, I want to
Okay.
play an athlete. I want to play a hacker, and I want to play a musician, but not the kind of musician I played in Kala, because I've already done that, but like a band. Like, I want to play a member of a band, and
Oh, like a
yeah,
rock
that's
star.
a big dream. Yeah, a rock star, basically.
Amazing.
Yeah,
Amazing. The person you call the most in a day.
the person I call the most in a day, this
Call.
person over
Like,
there. Her name is Gina. I
okay,
don't have
okay.
friends, and my mama, of course.
Okay. So the book you last read and loved.
I am actually reading this book right now. It's a very simple book. It's called WTF by Ben Hull.
Mm-hmm.
And
Mm-hmm.
Ben Earl,
Mm-hmm.
WTF by Ben Earl, and it's basically, there are no magic tricks in it, but it's a short book about the philosophy of magic that Ben
Hmm.
does. And I relate magic, the craft of magic and the craft of acting. I think they're very similar. You know, both are trying to hide the craft, and both are trying to have an effect on the so basically the whole thing summarizes so well. The trick is an illusion, but the magic is real.
One superpower you would love to have.
The power of invisibility,
Okay.
because that
And
gives you
finally,
unparalleled observations,
oh yeah,
limits,
that's
you know.
very
you,
important for
you
an
can
actor.
just, yeah, you just observe, and you don't have to worry about anything. You know, you can observe reality for what it really is.
Hmm.
And to
Yeah.
fly, of course.
And finally, your comfort food.
My comfort food, dahi
Mm-hmm.
rice.
Acha.
Dahi rice and idli with coconut chutney.
Oh, that's amazing.
Yeah.
And those were all the questions that I had. Thank you so much for your time. And
No, thank you for your time.
okay,
Really.
you're welcome. And all the best for all your upcoming projects. And I personally loved you in Kala. And
Yeah.
I keep telling all my friends that you seem like the Indian version of Timothy Chalamet, you know? And even in this
Yes.
interview, yeah, that's amazing. You quoted him also during the interview
Yeah.
once. I remember, but it's amazing. And all the best, man. All the best for all your
Thank you
work.
so much.